the hashtag 2020 Strong movement it's gonna really impact the seniors. That's why we would like for you all to join us to help them, because we know throughout this time it has not been easy for seniors, losing their prom, their graduation ceremony, and not getting any senior closure. So we would just like to, talk to you guys about the Greeks for Grads Day to see what you guys have in mind about impacting the seniors this year.
In it by way of a card shower. We have selected 2 high schools, and we're recognizing the female graduates from Rains and Ribault High Schools. Mm-hmm. And we're doing a card shower, and we're going to put a little something in the card for them. It just won't be an empty card, but that's our way of showing the 2020 strong, how much we appreciate them. And we know we have, you didn't get the opportunity, like you said, to do your prom, your grad night, your graduation, and all of those things are very, very memorable for someone graduating from high school. Yes, and we just wish you the best of luck.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, now, if you don't mind, I would love you guys to introduce yourselves.
Well, I'm Jacqueline Shell.
Okay.
And I'm Joanne Williams.
I'm Candace Williams.
And I'm Norma White. I am the a past president of Gamma Rho Omega chapter and the 25th international president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority. And we are so proud of the graduates and the way you all have accepted the fact that the activities that all of the other graduates have had during their lifetime, you're not going to be able to have that because of this epidemic. But we know that whatever is done, it's done in love. And we want all of you to remain safe. So that's the most important thing, that you stay safe and that you enjoy the activities that you would have had if you had been able to do them in the usual fashion.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. If you guys don't mind, can you talk about your prom experience to the seniors?
I think we didn't get everyone to introduce themselves yet, though.
Okay, well, I'm Joanne Williams. I'm the Gamma Rho Omega chapter president here in Jacksonville, Florida, and it's a pleasure to be with you all today. And we totally support the Amastar Foundation and our 2020 graduates.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
My name is Shanda Suggs. I am a member of Gamma Rho Omega, and I am all for 2020 strong.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Did everyone introduce themselves?
No, we have one more.
Shonda Mack. Hi, I'm Shonda Mack, and I'm also a member of Gamma Rho Omega.
Yes, ma'am. That's
and
good.
Congratulations to you all.
I'm Betty Bernie. I'm a member of Gamma Rho Omega also, and the executive director of the Amastar Foundation. And I'm just here to watch and cheer my beautiful sorors on.
Awesome.
That's good. Thank you, everybody, for introducing yourself and letting us know how you pertain or how you are interacting with the sorority. Now, just kind of moving forward for a few personal questions to y'all. Like Faith said, how do you guys remember your prom experience? What was it like when you guys went to prom?
Well, it was funny. My prom was funny. I went to my junior prom with a good friend of mine, and his girlfriend was also a good friend of mine until he took me to the prom. Back in the day, we didn't have the Hyatt and the Convention Center and all those places to have our prom. Black high schools decorated their gymnasium. The junior class, they were the sponsors. The sophomore class, they were the hostesses. And as far as going out to dinner, we went to somebody's house. After prom, somebody's home. Because we didn't have all the things that kids have now available to us. And I just had to shadow my whole prom, his girlfriend.
Oh.
I attended my prom in 1951.
Wow.
And during that time, we didn't even have a gymnasium in Stanton High School on Ashton Street. So we had to decorate the auditorium, and everything, including band rehearsals, were held on the stage in the auditorium. So that's where we had our prom. And of course, we didn't have any boyfriend, girlfriend taken to the prom. It was someone who was a friend, whose parents were friends of the family.
Exactly.
Who carried us to the prom. And we didn't have the limousines and all of the things that are done now. I don't even remember whether my father drove us to the prom or my mother, because she was a teacher at Stanton also. So she probably drove us to the prom. But it was still a wonderful experience. And it's quite a flashback now from 2020 to 1951.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else have a story?
Yes, well, for me, prom was about, I would say 29, 30 years ago for me, but I remember the excitement of looking for a dress because I was from a small town. So the idea was that we were going to go to a larger town. Because what you didn't want to do is come in with someone had on the same dress, okay? And so I remember preparing for all of that. I went with my friends. I remember finding a beautiful dress, and someone did have the same dress on, but I like to say I accessorized a little bit better. It was all about the accessories, and I had on these long white gloves, and she didn't have those on, so I just made the dress pop, if you will. So I remember all of that. I remember trying to find the perfect dress, trying to have the perfect hair. Now you all get your makeup professionally done. We didn't have all of that back then. We were just trying to look our best, and find a perfect dress. And, that was the first time, you would wear where there was a formal or after 5 dress. And I just remember the excitement of it all. And I just had a wonderful night. Everybody was just so nice. And it was like a rite of passage, all the things that we mentioned, the prom, the grad night, all of those things, it's a rite of passage. And so it's just amazing that this is the first class that will not be able to enjoy all of that. But you will still move forward and you will still reach all of your goals regardless of that. So that was my prom story.
Yeah, even though the class of 2020 won't be able to have that experience, we still want to give them something special, something to remember.
That's what you're doing it virtually. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Virtually.
It,
like I said, it won't be the same experience being around your friends or being in the same building with your friends, but it's still giving them something, still giving them hope. So that's what we're trying to do for 2020. But my other question was to you guys, or my personal question was, how have you as adults, how have y'all been managing staying in quarantine or just staying inside during this pandemic?
That's a difficult task, because we're so used to being out and about and fellowshipping with one another. And a prime example is since the first couple of weeks in March, we've been encountering this pandemic. So we're used to being sisterly and gathering together for meetings and committee meetings and brainstorming ideas on what to do next. But it's been really limited because of the fact that we can't go out and touch one another. So under this circumstance, we have to just kind of pull together and remember our faith and remember each other in prayer and call each other on the phone or have a FaceTime call. So it's difficult, but it's manageable.
I was with you all somewhat, even though I teach elementary children. I feel, I still feel that I have some sort of connection with my students. However, everybody was not on board like they needed to be. So there were times that I was able to contact and get in contact with former students that I've had. So just having interaction with them and you know, reminiscing about when they were in my room, or you know, running into students, that has been nice. But the virtual part of it for education and not being able to see what they actually know and what they do, that has been difficult for me, because I know that sometimes their brothers and sisters are doing the work. So that part has been strange. And doing grades totally virtually and not being able to see their writing and watch them interact with their friends at school, that has been really strange and something that I might have to get used to coming up in the fall. So I'm surviving, but it's definitely a learning tool.
Yes, ma'am.
It's funny that you talked about learning. What have you guys learned since being on quarantine as a person?
That you literally can go crazy staying home. I'm actually retired, and I'm usually home. But it's something about when somebody tells you you can't do certain things.
Yeah.
And you know, the challenge for me is that I do everything that I've been asked to do. You know, I distance myself, I wear my mask, I wash my hands, and do all of those things. But I'm kind of appalled when I go out in the public, and a third of the people out there, they don't have masks, they don't have gloves, they're not distancing themselves, and it doesn't take but a few not following the rules to make everything worse for everybody else.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
And what is something positive that just keeps you pushing to just do more forward? What is something positive that you learned? Like
Well, I have learned how to do more things at home. My son has been on me for the longest to write a book, and I have put it off time and time again. But since I can't go out, or I don't go out like I used to do, I have been able to do a lot of writing and a lot of thinking and a lot of looking through things, finding things in my file cabinet that I haven't seen for years and years, finding pictures. And I had to find a picture of myself when I was a little girl. And I finally found one, and I was just shocked to see how much I have changed. So it has given me an opportunity to do many things that I probably would not have done if I had been out most of the day like I've done in the past.
That's amazing. I congratulate you.
And you know, and she's been Miss Dr. White is correct, is that, you know, the time that you have, sometimes things are put in front of us that we just have to decide to adjust to. Either you're going to take it, or you're going to leave it, or you're going to adjust and move forward. And that's as Alpha Kappa Alpha women, we're strong women. And I think about how 2020, so many things are going on, but this is not the first time we as women women have had to deal with certain things. I think about, you know, different years, the 1960s and 1970s. Everyone has had their concerns and struggles. But 2020 with the COVID-19, this is unprecedented, but yet still we have decided to adjust. And like Dr. Norma was saying, the time, what are you going to do with your time? So that's been a great question. And for me, I've been reading more. Usually I just read articles at work. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and a certified addiction professional. So when it's time for me to read, I don't read for pleasure. I'm reading my clinical manuals and trying to take continuing education credits and things of that nature. But now I'm able to read for pleasure. And I'm able to take long walks and things of that nature. I can count on both hands all the things I should have been doing since March. I was supposed to go to Las Vegas, South Carolina, Philadelphia next month, and all of that has, you know, in the Jazz Festival that was going to happen on Memorial Day down, you know, downtown. All of that is for naught now. But life is still good, and all of that, all of those plans, they pale in comparison to all the lives that have been lost with COVID-19. So just trying to put things into perspective.
Yes, and another thing, my faith is very important to me. And even though we're going through this COVID-19 and the virus and what have you, I still trust in God, and I still believe firmly that He's still in charge.
Yes.
This is happening for a reason, and whatever that reason may be, hopefully we can learn something from it.
Yes.
Yeah, having that relationship definitely give you a peace. It's a lot going on in the world, but just being able to just be still and understand that this is uncomfortable, but I know God has my back, so I'm gonna I'm gonna rely on that. So that's very important for sure. I don't think people spend enough time focusing on that kind of thing. We look at material things, but when it comes to from graduating from high school and moving on, really, having peace of mind is more important than all that stuff. Being able to be encouraged and encouraging yourself that's one of those things that's way more important than all this, any kind of job you get. So focus on that for sure.
So, like Miss Jackie mentioned earlier, we have a great card shower that we're going to be doing, and that's sent with love and encouragement, so that our 2020 graduates can reach all of their goals. We want them to know that the women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Gamma Rho Omega chapter, has them in our thoughts and prayers, and we want to emotionally support them and make sure that we give them a congratulations with the card. And like Miss Jackie said, to add some love in that card as well. So we're really excited about that and planning for that, and being here on this call to encourage. Sometimes the card is wonderful, and we're so happy that we're doing that, but we're so glad to be able to speak to you all and to encourage you as well.
Speaking of encouragement, can each of you just say a inspirational word for the seniors?
Well, to keep God first in your life and to trust and believe that we're going to get over this.
Yes, ma'am.
I would say this too shall pass. You go through a lot of things, and like this is just kind of one small thing, and in the grand scheme of your whole life, you're gonna have things that you come up against that are uncomfortable and they feel hard, but just understand that you just have to get through things sometimes, and you will get through them. So excited to see what you guys encounter and how you get through this, but it's you guys will be so successful. This is one of those things that build that muscle.
And we have to remember that there is some good in everything. And so we have to look for the good.
That's true.
And, it doesn't just rain on the bad, it rains on all of us.
Yes,
But we will get through it. So we have to have to trust in God, have faith, and don't question Him, because I hear so many people say, "Why is this happening?"
Yeah.
But we can't question God. There's a reason for everything that He does.
Yes.
Nothing comes to Him by surprise. And so when this is all over, I know that we will all understand it better by and by, as the song says.
I would say remembering that through everything, Christ is at the end of it. And we may not understand it right now. We might not understand why over 100,000 people have lost their lives to COVID-19. But we have to remember to trust God and trust Him for everything. So the Bible says, putting all my trust in Him, forgetting what is behind me and pressing forward. So we have to press forward, even if it's hard, even if we lose a family member, even if we lose our peace of mind sometimes for a little bit. But we have to remember that God is still on the throne and He's still in control.
Yes, He is.
And
Yes, ma'am.
Amen.
So just, go ahead, Faith. Ask the question.
I didn't know if everybody wanted to said a few words of inspiration.
I was gonna say I'm a teacher by nature, and I'm always looking for one word, and the word that comes to mind for you all is adjustment. You had to make an adjustment, but how you handle yourself through the adjustment and what you do during the adjustment and what you do after the adjustment is going to impact your lives forever. So whatever decisions you make while you're here, you can choose to be angry. You can choose those things, but it's not going to do you any good. So how you adjust with this first phase, we don't know what the next phase is going to be. So look at yourselves, garner yourselves, be mindful of what you say, what you think, because you don't know how you're going to have to adjust after it.
That's
so if
true.
you come through this one the correct way and you make the proper adjustments and you say to yourself, in my mind, I made it through this. It was difficult, but I know that if I can make it through this first phase of adjustment, my next phase is going to teach me something just like the first one did. And if I make it through this one, I can make it through whatever adjustments may come.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Absolutely.
And you can't be strong until you go through something where you have to be strong. You don't know how strong you are. So you guys have a lot inside of you. So just always remember that.
And also tap into your support system. Your parents are there for a reason. Your friends are there for a reason. I was on a Wednesday night Bible study, and that was the best thing ever. I mean, it just uplifted my spirit so much. So tap into those things that really support you, and you're going to need it through all of this and transitioning to going into college and a virtual campus and all of that. So just make sure you stay connected to your support system. I have a best friend. She's been at home for, I think, 3 months now, working from home, and she'll call me and say, hey, I don't know how much I can to take of this. And I just remind her to stay encouraged. I give her a call and just remind her to stay encouraged. That's really important. And I've often met people when I say, hey, how you doing? They'll usually say, I would complain, but it wouldn't do any good. And I never understood that. And so now, instead of complaining, what I do is I say a prayer of encouragement.
Yeah.
And it's just looking at a different way of a different way of looking at things.
And we have to remember that joy does come in the morning.
It does.
And if we keep our lives in the hands of the Lord, then we will make it through. So whatever comes our way, remember that my life is in His hands.
Amen.
Let us leave it there.
Amen. And you're too blessed to be stressed.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. I love it.
Too blessed to be
To
stressed.
be stressed. Yes.
I need to write that on the note card.
So, in closing, ladies, I just want to say, before we close, I just want to say thank you guys for the Solomon White Leadership Program. It really does help every Star student that comes in contact with Star. And we just want to thank you guys and say, we just thank y'all so much for blessing us with that program and that leadership program. Thank you.
And we can't wait to get back with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And we also want to thank you for supporting us in the project to Let's Move Jacksonville and the celebrity basketball game, because that really impacted a lot of people in our community. And just you supporting us and being by our side over the years, it's really helping us as youth to prepare for our future and our journey as we get older. So we really, really, really like to say a huge thank you to you, because if it wasn't for you all educating us about our future and what we can have in mind, I don't think we could get through it. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome.
Welcome.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, you ladies are very impressive. Very impressive.
Thank you.
And I was supposed to see a plant on the wall, but I just have to thank Gamma Rho Omega. Thank you, Alpha Kappa Alpha for just always supporting, but especially in this moment with what you're going to do for the Greeks for Grads. You're going to be a lot of happy people because of you. So thank you so much. And I'm going to turn it back over to Faith and Maya. I know they're going to close us out, but thank you, sorors.
Oh, you're so welcome, sir.
Anytime.
And I just wanted to say on behalf of the Gamma Rho Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated in Jacksonville, Florida, of the Star Foundation, We love you all, and we wish you all the best. We have over 300 active members in our chapter, and we've served the Jacksonville community for over 75 years, and we're still moving strong. COVID-19, anything that they put in front of us, we're still moving forward, and we know that you all have that same spirit. So we wish you congratulations, and we love you all.
Thank you.